Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jeremy from Randolph Running Club. Today I'm back with another video to talk to you about the one and the only Nike Zoomx Streakfly right after this. All right, thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you for watching that intro there. That was a series of different runs that I did in the Nike Zoomx Streakfly in preparation for this review. I've got about 30 miles in this shoe and I now have some thoughts and was ready to share it with you guys, ready to share it with the world, let you know if I'm rocking with these or not. So, if you've never watched one of these videos before on my channel, I like to break it down in a couple different ways. First and foremost, I'll talk about the specs of the shoe. We get into the fit/comfort. We talk about the on the run feel, durability predictions, and kind of so far how they're holding up. And then last but not least, we talk about the value because everybody's worried about the price. We're all sensitive to that, of course, very important thing. So jumping straight into it, let's talk about the specs of this shoe. This shoe comes in at 6 ounces in a US men's size 9, super light. There's a 6mm offset, so that means from the forefoot to the heel, there's a 6mm difference in the amount of midsole foam. So essentially you have a 26mm in the forefoot of this shoe and you have 32mm in the rear of the heel. The full midsole is Zoomx, completely Zoomx foam, that sweet Pebax, bouncy, cushiony foam from Nike, their flagship foam. And you have a Pebax shank in the middle to give you kind of like a little bit more propulsion. It's not a carbon plate, but there is a kind of midfoot plate there. You've got a rubber outsole, so no exposed foam. Well, there is some exposed foam, but there is rubber coverage as well, which we love to see. And then the upper is engineered mesh, and we have an offset lacing pattern on the shoe as well. So all of these things on paper, the ingredients are there for a wonderful super shoe. Let's see how it did in my review testing. So hopping into the fit/comfort of this shoe, as soon as you step into it, you know that you're wearing something very premium, something special, just a really good feeling shoe for that immediate step in comfort. The upper is really, really minimal on this. Actually, I'm gonna pick it up just to kind of demonstrate this even further, but on this shoe, it's like actually kind of see-through, like you can kind of see my fingers there. Yep. It kind of reminds me of like a track spike or, those kind of old school racing flats. I'm saying old school, the racing flats that people ran in as recently as 2017 before Nike came out with the first Next Percent. Or 4% Next. But point of the story, this shoe is extremely light, extremely minimal. So when you step into it, you feel like you're wearing a race day proper, I'm gonna go fast shoe. And that's exactly what this is. The laces with the offset pattern, I actually really enjoyed this. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it because I've never really experienced a pair of shoes with that. But the lockdown that you can get in these shoes is just really chef's kiss, phenomenal. I think that paired with just the really thin upper, lack of any, bulky materials and extra overlays and things that some other brands or other shoes have, makes for a really comfortable shoe that's just easy for you to get the right fit in. And once you've got that right fit, you feel good the entire time. There is no feet sliding around or you having to kind of undo the laces and redo them on the run or anything. I never experienced any problems like that. As soon as you lock your shoes down here, your feet into these shoes, you just feel amazing. The Zoomx midsole, nice squish. I hate to use that word. I mean, I feel like it's kind of over cliche now, but Really nice squish feel when you step into it. It's like that trampoline kind of feeling, really soft, but also bouncy all at the same time. And they have that bounce even when you're walking around. So it's like I said before, as soon as you step into them, you know that you're in something special. You know that you're in something that's intended to provide a lot of impact cushioning, but also give you that propulsion that you want. And then I really like the heel cup on these as well. It kind of has that like slightly flared part for like your Achilles, but there is something like actually solid here in the heel that you see I'm pressing on it, like I'm not even sure, some type of plastic or something back there that actually helps keep your heel locked in place. So there's no heel slippage or anything of that nature. And it doesn't really rub your Achilles tendon. So if you wear really low cut socks or no socks at all, you shouldn't have any problem with rubbing in these shoes. So all around comfort gets a thumbs up from me. Just even though it's a very minimal and lightweight shoe, super comfortable, no issues there. Now let's talk about the feel on the run. These shoes have what I'm calling the big league bounce, okay? This ain't minor league. This isn't, you know, something else going on. This is premier right here. The energy return is just a whole new level. If you've never experienced a super shoe before, and maybe you're coming from just some kind of classical style daily trainers, not to name any in particular, but these shoes will make you feel like you're just about to take off, right? Like, they just have so much energy return is the term that would be used here, right? And I have a pair of Saucony Endorphin Pros, and those have a phenomenal push off. They feel great. You've got the full carbon fiber plate that uses Saucony's, you know, P-Bax foam as well. So super nice. But these, I feel like somehow it's lighter, more cushioned, and bouncier at the same time. I don't know what Nike's got going on here, but these shoes is just insane. It feels amazing. And I've worn these for pretty much every type of run. I've done really short stuff. I've done some longer runs. I've done tempos, kind of everything in between. I actually just last Sunday wore these shoes for my 5K PR. And during that day, it was part of the Oakland Marathon Festival weekend. I did a challenge where I ran the 5K and immediately ran a half marathon right after, and I wore these shoes for both. So I really got the kind of best of both worlds testing of these, so I could see how they perform on a really short race where you really want that explosiveness, and how they did on a race where you know, you might be landing back on your heels a little bit more and you're looking more for that squish, for that comfort. And I can tell you, my legs did not feel beat up. I felt beat up because it was a hard effort, but my shoes were not any type of problem. You know, my legs felt really good, quads, hamstrings, calves, etc. My feet felt amazing, no hot spots, no blisters. And that's really what you want. And I'm wearing, they fit true to size. I'm wearing my typical US men's size 14. No issues there whatsoever. Shoes were just perfect, you know. And I've seen people wearing these locally during track workouts and things like that. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. They feel low enough to the ground where when you're cornering, you're not going to feel any of that like weird unstable stuff going on. Like if you've experienced like a Asics Nova Blast, or maybe even the Alpha Fly from Nike, for instance, those kind of shoes that are a little wobbly and you don't really want to be taking turns with them, these still feel low enough to the ground where you can turn tightly, which is great. Okay, so even though they feel extremely comfortable, and I did run the half, I think you could run a marathon in these if you have no issues with like knee troubles or anything like that. But I think for most people, you probably would want to spend the extra and go up to that Vaporfly. That additional stack height and the full carbon fiber plate will help keep you a little more stable and help you out on that really long run. So that's kind of the one limitation, but I could see myself running a marathon in these in a pinch with no issue. So just want to throw that in there as well for the on the run field. Now let's talk about durability of these. I have 30 miles on them. As you can see here, the shoe doesn't have a ton of wear. The upper looks pretty good. And I've worn these for only extremely hard run. Well, not only, but most of the runs in these have been pretty tough. I would say, you know, like max effort for sure. Upper looks good. It's holding up pretty well. The outsole is doing pretty well also. As you can see, all this black rubber up here, no real wear going on. It actually still feels pretty tacky to the touch. So the grip is still great. And what I found is there's like a little bit of scuffing down here where there's like exposed foam, I think, but it's not really too bad. I've experienced much worse on shoes that aren't as aggressive as this. I'm thinking about like Hoka Rincon type shoes, things of that nature, where they start to get pretty chewed up very early. The Nike Epic React line actually is another one where they looked really just gnarly and kind of beat up very early. And these seem to have barely any scuffing or marring at this point at 30 miles, which is a really good sign. And the bounce is still there. They feel honestly a little better every time I run in them. I don't know if it's because I'm getting more used to the shoe or what, but I think there wasn't really like a break-in period, but I would say every time that I've worn them, they feel somehow like more energetic. And it might be mental, but your mileage may vary, but that's kind of my 2 cents on it. I think if you could get, somewhere around 200, 250 miles out of these, that'd be pretty good. And I don't really see a reason why you couldn't at this time. So maybe I'll update this once I've got more miles in these shoes. So of course, let's talk about the value here. So this is going to be a little bit of a, which side of the fence are you on? On one hand, these shoes are $160, brand new right now. I haven't seen them on sale. I don't think they're going to be on sale anytime soon. Just with how popular they are. But with that being said, $160 is not cheap. Let's make sure that we make that very clear first and foremost. $160, not cheap at all. But if you were to compare these to other shoes that have this level of performance, like Nike Vaporfly, those are $225. Alpha Fly's $250. Asics Metaspeed Sky's $250. New Balance's new shoes, and Puma and Saucony, all these other brands, they're all like to start $200 or more. So when you kind of think about it in that way, I have to say, I think these shoes are an okay value, actually. I think they're actually a pretty good value compared to other shoes that give you this kind of performance level. So with that in mind, I think for $160, this is a really good deal, but $160 is still too much. I'm like, come on, Nike, y'all gotta work with me. There's got to be a way to make a shoe that feels pretty close to this. Maybe not 100% of the way, maybe 80% of the way that costs, $120 or $115 or whatever. But I digress. I don't work for Nike, so I don't know what goes into all that. But with that being said, I think they're a good value for the performance shoe segment that they occupy. So last but not least, let's get into some final thoughts. Would I buy these again? 110%. I've been in love with them ever since the first wear, first time I put my foot inside a pair. So 100% would buy them again. And, I think the shoe is just really awesome. I think if you're the type of person who maybe you want to build a rotation and you want a race day / workout shoe and you have a daily trainer that you already like, I think if you get these, you'll have 2 really solid shoes between your daily trainers and a race day shoe. And I think just with the wear and tear that I've seen thus far, I don't see a reason why you couldn't get 250 miles out of these. So I think that's a major go for sure. That's really all I have on them. Love the shoes, if you couldn't tell. 2 thumbs up. If you can find a pair in your size, I highly recommend it. And especially if you're in the market for a performance shoe for anything up to probably half marathon easily, and maybe even the full if you're trying to have one shoe that really does it all for you. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Got more videos coming up. I appreciate you for making it to the end of this one. If you like this video, be sure to drop a like, a comment down below so I can chat with you, and then subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything else. With that being said, as always, stay blessed, inspire others, and stay safe out there, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.